Good morning, student. Now we have to learn the topic about the rural land use. So, what is rural land use? The exploring the different uses and practices. In this lecture, we have to learn about the rural land uses. To know more about the rural land use, first we would like to know the introduction part of the rural land use. So the definition is rural land uses refers to the ways in which rural areas are utilized for various activities such as agriculture, forestry, recreation and conservation. So for what purpose we are using the land in the rural area, it is there it is mentioned here. Just now we understood the definition of the rural land use. Now we have to understand what is the importance of the rural land use. First in the view of the economic value, rural land contributes to the economy through agriculture, forestry and tourism, and in the environmental view, rural land use plays a role in conservation and maintaining biodiversity. This is the importance of rural land use. Why there is a rural land use? Just now we understood the introduction part of the rural land use, and then we understood the importance of rural land use. Why there is a rural land use? Now we have to understand the types of rural land use. There is a five types of rural land use. First is agricultural land use, forestry land use, residential land use, recreational land use, and conservation land use. These are the types of rural land use. Now we have to understand in details one by one. Now first we will understand the agricultural land use. What do you mean by agricultural land use? Agricultural land use, it means the land which is used for the agricultural purposes. For example, it includes crops farming, animal husbandry and mixed farming. Examples: rice paddies, cattle, ranches, orchards, where we grow some kind of crops, that which land is specially used for the agricultural purpose is called the agricultural land used. Now the second type is forestry land use. What is forestry land use? It involves the management of forest land for timber, wildlife habitat and recreation. Example: timber harvesting, national forest, wildlife reserve. The It means the land which is specially used for the forest purpose, for the wildlife reserve, where we can keep to the animal. It is national forest, timber forest. These are the examples of the forestry land use. Third type is residential land use. What is residential land use? The land which is used for the residential purpose is called the residential land use. Use of land for housing and related infrastructure in rural areas. Example: rural villages, farmhouses and residential plots. Residential means what? Where we live, where the persons lives. For the living purpose they need the houses, and the houses where we build, that land is called the residential land. For examples: rural villages, farmhouses and residential plots. These are the examples of residential land use. Next is recreational land use. What is recreational land use? Land designed for recreational activities and tourism. For examples, national parks, hiking trails, campground. These are the examples of recreational land use. What is recreational? The land which is used for tourism, land which is used for recreational activities is called a recreational land use. Now next is conservation land use. What is conservation land use? Areas preserved for environmental protection and biodiversity conversion. For example, wildlife sanctuaries, wetlands, protected areas. These are the examples of conservation land use. The land which is specially preserved for the environmental purpose, for the environmental protection, where we did some biodiversity activities, biodiversity conservation. So for that purpose, the land use is called the conservation land use. So what we learned in this period, we learned about the rural land use. We learn the definition about the rural land use. We learn the introduction part, and then we learn the types of rural land use. There are five types of rural land use. First is uh, first is agricultural land use, second forestry, third residential, fourth, students you say, fourth is conservation land use, fifth is, and the last one is recreational land use. We learned the five types of land use. Now student, you what you have to do, you have to do the study at home. You have to read the all these types introduction and definition, and come tomorrow I will ask some questions regarding this topic. Okay, thank you.